track off. You can pull the master pin, or I usually just release the tensioner, let all the grease out. It compresses the front idler, and then you always pull it off from the top, because on the bottom you have those rails that kind of lock the track in. If you pull it off the top, you get these top two rollers. Just pull it over the side and then just lift out the side and just drive out of it with using the other track. Then prop this up. I just threw a log under it to keep it off the ground. And I'm doing this in the woods, so I don't have another machine here. I just rig up chain hoist and strap. Once everything's good to go, braced up and stuff, you gotta come back here. First thing, before you break these hydraulic lines, you want to let the air out of the tank. There's a bleeder, a little bleeder button. Most excavators have it. It's that little rubber. Hold on. All right. This is the hydraulic tank here. That's the bleeder. You just push it. There's a little more air left in there, but especially if you have the machine running, if you don't push that, you crack that line, you're gonna get a hydraulic bath. I've done it before, it sucks. So, now we're gonna break these lines, and I have some plugs and caps. You want to try keeping the system as clean and contamination free as possible. So once you pull the cap, they sell, you know, regular plugs and caps. I just got these compression ones. Okay, I didn't record the next step, which was removing all the bolts that hold the travel motor onto the frame. It's an 1 3/16. Just remove. I had the chain hoist because I don't have a machine here, so you just put pressure, not enough to pull on it, just enough to hold it in place. Remove all the bolts, and then it pops out. And I got the travel motor on the trailer. I'm gonna go bring it to a place where I have a machine where I can lift off the hub and replace the seals. I'm gonna clean it up first. I'll probably power wash it. Just when you're power washing these, the seal's bad, but you don't want to put direct pressure on the seam where the seal is, because that can actually damage it. So that's the spot. That's the spot where we're leaking, and that's the seal we're gonna replace. So we'll get this cleaned up and start pulling it apart. Now that I have the travel motor in position, the first step is to remove this cover. I use these totes for everything, keeping track of your bolts, small parts,
keeping them dry and clean.
Alright, it's important when you're taking this apart, make sure you remember how everything goes, so when you put it back together, you're not messing anything up. Just gonna lay it out on the wood to keep it clean. and organized. Okay, the next step is I gotta remove this drum housing. Same process as the cat, remove all the bolts, pop it off. I'll probably use the machine or a hoist to lift this up, it's a little heavy. What we'll do is take a couple bolts. This will help us lift off this hub. Now that we have everything apart, the next step, this ring threads on. There's a little locking key. So we're gonna pull this key off, unwind the ring, and we're gonna have to be careful not to damage the bearings inside there. As long as the bearings are good, we're gonna reuse them. We're gonna pull the base of the hub off, flip it, clean it out, and replace the seals, and then put it all back together. I'm sure they make a special tool for this, but all I do is put just a dowel or something in one of the holes that aren't threaded. Make sure it's not one of the threaded holes. And then just tap. Once you break it free, you can use it to spin it off.
Such crud.
Yeah, this thing was doomed. Let's get a closer look at this. Is the main problem right here. The O-ring, the bottom O-ring sits in this, it's got a big old split right in that. And then it's full of dirt and crap. That's all where the O-ring is supposed to be. That's not good. I have to clean this all up really well. Pop this one out, put the new one in, put it all back together. I swear, I buy screwdrivers, and I never find a screwdriver. So I got a scrunch. Almost. Might be better off taking that, ripping that O-ring out. If I can get that. Which definitely makes it a lot easier having been ripped in half. So this is the inner seal. It's just as nasty as the other one. All that stuff came out of the channel where the O-ring is. Okay, we got everything apart and cleaned up. Now
I'm gonna start putting it back.
Okay, we're running out of light here. I'm just gonna give you a quick breakdown. I reset the new seal here, and then on the other seal on the sprocket, I'm gonna push that down into place, and then flip it over, put it on in place, and then that other bearing. I'm gonna put the other bearing on, use the nut to compress the whole thing, and start putting it back together. Everything seems good. It's moving freely without any hitches or anything. Next step is to put this other bearing in, then the locking ring, compress everything, then start putting the rest of the hub back together. Make sure there's no dust, debris, crap on the bearing or the race where it sits. sure you line up these threads properly. You don't want to cross them. Now that the locking ring is in place, holding the bearings, I'm going to put this key, the keeper, to prevent it from backing out. Torque those too hard. Once that's all locked into place, just give it a quick wipe down before we start putting the other parts in. Good. Helper. My little man, my little helper. Alright. We are going to need the machine. smoke's going to be next. Other housing. Just going to clean this up a little bit. Put a little gasket grease on there. Put the gasket in there. Doesn't need a lot, just a little. Okay, while I'm cleaning this, I just want to go over a couple things. First thing, this is not an educational video, it's strictly entertainment. I'm just showing you how I do something. I'm not a trained hydraulics mechanic. Everything I do, I taught myself how to do by trial and error and taking stuff apart and putting it back together. So I don't recommend doing this. Just for starters, I'd never do this in a dusty pit, but I kind of don't really have a choice. I'm definitely limited on equipment. Well, I got the machine here, but putting this back in, I don't have a machine at the job site, so there's 100 things that I would do differently. Most of all, probably bring it to a trained hydraulic mechanic or the dealer. It's just not really an option, especially for the money that it would cost. The seal itself was around $600. Now imagine that, the dealer putting it in, probably looking at, I'd say at least a $10,000 job. Doing a last check. There's some, you want to make sure you don't have any metal, dirt, rocks, crap in there before you seal it up. Just run through everything, make sure it's spinning like it's supposed to. Like this, I don't know what it's calling for a seal. I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna put the only thing I have in my truck. I got some orange sealer. I usually would probably do the black stuff, but I got red, so that's what I'm using. Not sure how long it's been in there. A little bit. Maybe I'm not using this stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Actually, before I put it on there, yeah, I'll put it on now. So just clean the other surface and well, together.
gears that have to be lined up with the inside splines. So make sure everything's lined up and it'll just slide right down, and then you just got to make sure you spin it so the bolt holes line up. So now I'm going to just secure the hub, put the last couple parts on, and then throw the cover on. Okay, so I'm at the machine now. Just wanted to give you guys a look. I don't have a machine here, so all I'm using is a chain come along and a couple ratchet straps. It's raining, so I'm probably not going to record the entire installation, but all I'll do is lower this down, make sure. I'm going to have to twist this a little bit to get all the lines matched up and the bolt holes matched up, and then reconnect all the plumbing and we'll test it out. Okay, now we're all set to go. Everything's secure. First step, what I'll do is, after I put gear oil in the hub. I want to over tighten this plug. Just make sure it's snug, not leaking. Looks good so far. No leaks. Everything's operating nice and smooth like it's supposed to. Thought I put the hub together wrong.